My name is Dorothy Ghettuba, as this big picture and these big words and those smaller words say, and I'm the CEO of Spielworks Media, and I'm here to share a story with you. My story starts in 1989, June, 2 weeks before my 11th birthday. It was 3:45 in the afternoon, and my mom had told me that she'll pick me up from school at 4:45. School was done. I had an hour to kill. And so I decided to do what any self-respecting 10-year-old would do. I would go and play. And so I left my bag and my shoes at the gate at the school, and I took off to play. And the thing is that time flew by, and I lost track of time. And at 4:45 sharp, my mom was at the gate, and I was nowhere to be seen. Now imagine the terror of a mother coming to a school, to the gate, not seeing her child, but seeing shoes and a bag. And so the search party was sent out, and they looked everywhere in the school, and they couldn't find me. And then they sent everybody to the nearest estates to look for me, and an hour later, they found me playing with a bunch of strange kids that I didn't even know. And when I looked up, I saw my mom walking towards me, and I knew that my life, as I knew it, was over. And so that evening, my mom, she beat me so bad, I saw stars. Like seriously, I saw stars. And then 2 weeks later, I was standing outside the principal's office of my new school, and it was a boarding school. It turned out that I had unbridled energy that needed to be redirected in a positive way in an environment that encouraged discipline. Basically, I was sent to boarding school. And 27 years later, my mom told me that taking me to this boarding school was a snap-second decision. She just said, this day school is not working. I'm going to take her to a boarding school. And I told her that decision, that split-second decision, changed the trajectory of my life. Because this is where I discovered my voice. Literally, I discovered that I could sing, and I could sing very, very well at that. And so I was in this school, a school that encouraged us to sing and to dance and to play sport, and also emphasized academic work. See, we were 14 of us in class, so you can't play, because if you do, the teacher will see you, and then you'll be punished. And so then I sang, and I worked hard, and I did well in my exams. And off I went to a really, really good girls' school. And at Alliance Girls, I discovered something else, my love and my passion for theater. And for the 4 years, which were the best years of my life, I know people look at their high school lives and they want to just cry. But my high school life was the 4 most exciting years of my life, and the stage and the lights and the dancing and the music and the theater and the getting lost in characters that were not me. That was just the most exciting part of my life. Now, the problem is, my mother did not like that. She said, you know, when we take you to a school like Alliance, you're supposed to focus on your education. And so one day I went for the Drama National Festivals, and she heard about it. And so she came to school to see the principal to give her a piece of her mind. And so the principal sat there and listened to my mom. And my mom told me this years later. My mom listened to her. She listened to my mom, rather. And when my mom was finished, she said, listen, your daughter's gift is not yours. It is for the world. So if you want her to do nothing but study, you better take her out of this school and take her to Precious Blood. And with that, she kicked my mom out of the office. And so I stayed at Alliance, and in my 4th year, when everybody was deciding what they wanted to do, I decided I want to be an actress. And so I told my mom and my dad, and I said, I've decided I want to pursue theater and film, and I'm going to be an actress. And they said, Are you crazy? You're going to be a lawyer. And with that, they sent me to law school. And the 4 years in law school were the most miserable 4 years of my life. Really. They were so miserable, and I hated every second of it. And so when I got the opportunity to move to a different university and change my major, I did that. And I took communications because, well, it appeared to be easy. So I took it. It wasn't necessarily easy, but it appeared to be. And so I finished, and I got a job in corporate Canada, and I worked, and I was disillusioned, and I was unhappy, and I was bored. And then one day, I went to Zambia with my friends, and something very interesting happened. We were going to Victoria Falls, and our driver, who I was later told had been driving across the country the whole night, fell asleep on the wheel. And so our minibus veered to the next lane, and then outside, and missed an oil tanker truck by a whisker and rammed into the biggest tree I've ever seen, and everyone was thrown everywhere, and I was thrown on the ground. I was asleep, and so I woke up, and I knew something had happened, and so I looked at the window, and I jumped out and staggered across the street, and I looked back, and the bus was in a bad shape, and so were some of my friends. And so we had to turn back and go to Lusaka because I needed to get some treatment. And as we traveled, I tried to sleep because I was so tired, but I kept on having this nightmare, the sound of the bus hitting the tree, and I'd wake up. And so I decided to stay awake and just look outside. But there was a thought that kept on going through my mind. And the question was this: if today was the last day of my life, can I say that I have lived my best life ever? And the answer was no. And so what I did is I went back to Canada and I resigned. And then I told my mom, see, I'm clever. I didn't tell her and then resign. I told her, I resigned, and then I told her, and she said, why would you do something like that? I said, I'm trying to find myself. And she said, Dorothy, you're 30. You need to hurry up. You don't have a lot of time. You need to find yourself. And so then I entered the creative industry, and I thought, well, since I could act and sing and dance in high school, maybe this is what I can do. And so I started auditioning. And I was auditioning, and I was not getting a job. And it was so difficult. And my agent told me, the legend has it that you have to audition 100 times to get a callback, then get 100 callbacks to get a job. And it was so difficult. And on one particularly difficult afternoon, when I missed a job that I was so sure I was going to get, I called my mom. I was so sad. I was so down. And she said to me, oh, dear, we can't be having this pity party. The way I see it, if people don't want to cast you in their TV production, then I suggest you produce your own TV show, and then you can star in it. I said, okay, that's a thought. All right. And so then I came to Kenya because I thought there were opportunities here, and I produced my first show. Now, I didn't get to have the starring role because producing and starring in your own TV show is next to impossible. But I had a little role as a headmistress who told the children to go and read, and I think that was just about it. And so 7 years later, Spielworks is 7 years old. We have 18 television shows. We have 41 movies. We have numerous web shows. We broadcast in over 40 countries in Africa. And it's an amazing thing. It's truly, truly amazing. And so I looked back a year ago, and I realized that every single thing, every single goal, every single objective that I set out to achieve, I had. And it was time to dream something different. And it couldn't be about me this time. And so it took some time. And finally I decided that I am going to create 1 million jobs and opportunities in the creative sector by the year 2030. Now, why would I do such a thing? Because I think it is time that creativity becomes financially viable. It is no secret that careers in the arts, creative careers, are looked at as second, if not third class, if not fourth-class careers. I mean, some of you are parents. We know that the nightmare of an African parent is when their child tells them, I want to be a DJ. Or your child says, Dad, I want to be an artist. And the dad says, you mean an architect? And the child is like, no, an artist. I mean, we have a government that sets aside $500,000 a year to develop the creative industry. That's lunch money. It really is. It is hardly enough. And it's for sports and culture and the arts. And we know that it's all going to the sports sector. I have relatives today who ask me, so when are you going to get a real job? Despite the fact that my company has employed thousands of people, including their children who couldn't find jobs. Listen, I see no use in shattering a child's spirit and breaking their heart or their dreams because they want to pursue a career in the arts. Listen, we can't all be doctors or lawyers or engineers or bricklayers. We don't have the aptitude or the talent or the inclination even. Now, if I asked one of you to sing or to paint, you'd be like, no, I can't. Sing a song. You'd be like, no, I can't. And I'd agree with you because we've heard you in church making a joyful noise and not necessarily singing. And what if I held a gun to your head and I say to you, you know what? You are going to sing and this is going to be your career. Or you're going to paint and this is going to be your career. Or you're going to write. I don't care that you can't conjugate, but this is going to be your career. You know, that's what we are doing to our kids. We're holding a gun to their heads and we are telling them, you must be a doctor. You must be an engineer. And they say, no, I just want to write. No, I just want to create. No, I just want to design. I say, no. You must be this and you must be that. For creative people, creating, that is their gift to the world. And if you take that away from them, you're taking the very essence of who they are. We live in a country that is killing creativity by systematically blocking avenues for kids who want to pursue a career in the creative arts. And why? Because we have been conditioned to think that a career in the arts is not compatible with a good education. So here's what I think. That it's going to be up to us creative people to change the mindset, to change the attitude, to change how people look at this creative sector. We're going to have to unite, we're going to have to work together, and we're going to have to open doors and create opportunities for the people who are coming after us. Running a media company is not easy. And I doubt it's going to get any easier. I wake up every day, there's no template, there's no roadmap, a map I can open and I can say, this is how I'm going to go and this is the path that I'm going to follow. So I keep on making mistakes. I really don't think there's someone who makes more mistakes than me in this room. But I've convinced myself that I'm just collecting data, so I can do better next time. And so I fall down 7 times and I get up 8 times. But I will not stop until creativity becomes financially viable. That a kid will go and tell their father and their mother that they want to be an artist or a DJ, and their parents will be okay with that because their child will be able to live off their gift. Now, I have the sense to recognize that I am here because, I really work very hard. But more importantly, because there are some people who've tolerated my audacity to live life differently. And more importantly, because there are people who have opened doors and who have created opportunities for me. And so that is what I must do. I must create opportunities for other people. I want to end by paraphrasing something that Michelle Obama said. She said that when you walk through the doors of success, you don't shut the door behind you. You open it for others so that they too can walk in. Thank you very much.